All right, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna ask you some questions about what life was like for you growing up, how the world's changed,
Oh, okay.
what you used to do, stuff like that. Tell stories, it's question and answer. Basically, typical interview stuff, but not anything formal.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay.
what's one thing that you've noticed that's a great deal of change in the world from when you were my age?
Oh, I've noticed a change in the way people think. People aren't as a community as it used to be when I grew up. Neighborhoods have changed. Uh, we knew all the neighbors. The neighborhood would get together,
Mm-hmm.
whether it was a bonfire in somebody's backyard, where everybody come in with some hot dogs and threw a couple of potatoes in the fire, and the neighbors got together.
Now you don't know your neighbors,
And
right?
now you don't even know who lives next door to you because you never see them. I think that's a sign of television today. Uh, People are inside watching television, or they're sitting on their patio in the backyard and not seeing anything that's going on in the world. Nothing on the street. When I was a kid, you couldn't get away with a thing because there was always somebody sitting on the front porch.
Yeah.
And if you did something wrong, your mother was told about it and father, and you were disciplined. So those are the things that are happening today. I'm just as guilty. We sit here on the patio, and all hell could break loose in the front yard, and we never know about it.
And I guess you just adapted to society then, since
Mm-hmm.
no one wants to be social anymore.
This is interesting.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts, Grandma?
Really, pretty much close the same thing. I think this is just a great change from when we grew up. Things were safer.
Yeah.
Now there's so much violence, and it's because of just what he described. Things just changed.
Mhm.
Both parents work, and kids just are on their own. Families. Just family life changed.
Yeah. So going off of that, is there anything you see different as the way your kids have raised their families today, like the generation of your kids, because they're the parents of today? So my dad, Andrew Jett, but not just them, because we all know they raise good kids, but just
No,
in
yeah,
general
yeah,
as a whole.
In general, yeah. I was gonna say, really, we can't say our own kids.
Yeah, but
I
In
think
general-
they don't really allow kids to be kids. Everything has to be organized.
Mhm.
Uh, you
I agree
don't
with that.
you don't have kids just getting together to play, where you have to have a structured. You got to be. You either play baseball, and now you got to have a uniform. You got to have all these things. Where you were lucky if in my neighborhood when I was growing up, if one person had a bat, that was great.
yeah.
And if somebody had a football, that was even better. And we played in the backyard. We didn't have to have a field. We didn't have to have umpires. We didn't have to have people scoring and all this kind of stuff. But the kids, we just played amongst ourselves. There was no balls and strikes. You just had fun.
Yeah.
Everything is just.
And everything today has to be so structured.
Do you think that it's the kids that are making it that way, or
No,
it's the parents?
I
It's
think
the parents.
Do the parents want to raise winners?
I
Or-
don't think so much winners. I think what they want to
yeah,
raise.
to a certain extent, honey. I think.
Well,
they do.
no, because you get into these leagues with the young kids, and everybody gets a medal.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a trophy.
Yes, yeah, I'm against
It's
that.
a participation. You get a participation award. You don't win. Nobody wins. Nobody loses. Everybody is just fun.
But yet they still want you to compete.
But they want to have them
Yeah.
somehow to compete. Yeah.
Yeah, they want them to compete, but there should be a winner and a runner-up, but he's right. We were discussing that with somebody the other day about that.
I know bunch of kids in the neighborhood would get together and we want to play football.
Well, honey, you can't go off on that. Let him.
And we'd
ask
go
you
up
questions.
at the high school, and alongside the high school, you choose up a team, and if you wanted to play touch football or if you wanted to play tackle, you could.
Just ask him the questions.
But everybody did everything. You know, we just had a good time,
Mhm.
and it just isn't that way anymore.
Yeah.
Now you have to have a $100 bat. You got to have a couple of bats. You got to have a couple of gloves. Geez, we were lucky if you had a glove.
Yeah. I mean, you've seen how we've all grown up, especially Anthony with all he had for baseball.
Mm-hmm.
It's just,
It just got too structured.
It didn't make him happy, now did it?
No,
No?
no, actually, it made him sad.
Yeah.
He's had a hard time getting over that he can't play basketball. No, you've had parents that really pushed their kids.
yeah,
And why, I don't know, because nobody ever pushed me.
yeah,
You could do what you wanted to do. If I didn't want to play anything, and if I wanted to go in the backyard and read a science fiction book and lay in a hammock, that was fine.
yeah.
Yeah, we could do that.
Today's world, you really, if you do that, you get outcasted. People think you're weird. People think you're a nerd. They make fun of you.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm subject. I've been one of those people who have made fun of and been made fun of for that, because if I don't want to leave the house one day, you know, my friends will harass me like, oh, come on.
Well, we didn't have that because we didn't have the transportation.
Yeah,
When I went to high school, there was no buses. We walked to school.
hmm
I was lucky that I lived close enough to the school that it was about 5 blocks away.
okay,
So I could walk to school in the morning. My dad, when he went to the same high school that I did, he walked from down on Jackson Street, which they had to come and didn't have a bridge. They had to cross a creek
oh,
to get to the high school. They had some rocks in the creek, and he would have to walk to school, and it was about a 3-mile walk.
yeah. So it's about a half hour.
And you had to carry your own lunches at my dad's time,
And you didn't
or
have,
he would come home for lunch
yeah. And at
and
that
then have
time,
to run back to school.
you didn't have book bags either, did you?
No,
You had to either
you
hand carry
carried
them.
all your books, or you left them in school.
hmm
We didn't have as much homework today as we did, but we had discipline in school, so you knew you had 45 minutes. You had 45 minutes of instruction. You didn't have 45 minutes of chaos like there is in some classes.
Yeah.
So,
And today, that's like a big problem with school, that it's kind of chaotic and that the teachers aren't allowed to teach. Like, some of the teachers are okay with it, but a lot of mine, they're upset they can't teach because they have to like teach for this test, teach for that test, go with a curriculum. Where like my Spanish teacher, she's not teaching for the AP test, so to speak, because none of us are really ready for it. So she can kind of go off on her own little curriculum, and it actually works a lot better for me because it feels like I'm in college. Because when you're in college, there is no curriculum. It's the professor is going to teach this, and no one's going to tell them not to. And I feel like that's what school used to be like. That the teacher was going to teach this, and no one was going to tell them no.
right. That
I mean, you were a teacher.
yeah. Yeah, and I had to make my own curriculum.
You didn't have the state make it for you, did you?
The state didn't have any, and that was one of the complaints I had against the state Board of Education, in that I was teaching electricity. There was another electrical instructor in Youngstown. I was in Canfield. There'd be another one at another school, and we weren't all not teaching the same thing
Yeah.
on the same day. And I thought that was very bad.